Welcome back, everybody. We are very pleased to be joined by Nintendude X from Good Game University. Congratulations on your win. Did you expect that to happen?
Coming off of our confidence level and knowing that they were using a sub, I kind of expected it. I don't know how the team felt. You know, we try to stay positive. I don't know how everybody really felt, but I honestly, that's the first time I expected to beat Dignitas like this entire season coming into the game.
What was your prep like for this match then?
Our prep, we didn't have much. We had a little bit to work with but they had a bye week, then they're using a sub, so it's like, well, you don't want to look at too old of replays because it can be kind of obsolete. So we had a little bit to work with. We knew they wouldn't be as strong early game with Lambo as they were with Crumbs. So we played the early game. I think we could have played it better, but I think we took advantage of it, which is something we had problems with yesterday against MRN. So I'm pleased with how it ended up.
Cool.
Yeah, and talking about your confidence level a little bit, is it just the fact you've had a recent success that you're more confident, or is it something else within the team dynamics that's creating that?
I think it's a mix. Obviously, everybody loves a winner. So, you know, winning is just like, wow, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to go into every game and knowing, you know, you're probably going to win this game. You know, you have to have that confidence, and winning can do that for you. But also, like the mindset we've had pretty much ever since we picked up Daydream and just taking everything seriously, it's just done wonders for us.
So talk to me about sort of that Daydreaming transition. Mashme said that you guys kind of just refocused on yourselves and started paying more attention to your mistakes and improving as a team. What have you seen? Like, what's changed for you specifically?
I think I've been a little more laid back and innovation, I guess, which I'm not a giant fan of, but I do love winning. So, you know, I'm not getting too crazy with the Trundle picks. You know, I see the NAS like, okay, I can see how that's good. I guess I'll play that, guys. So personally, I'm just trying to, you know, play better what helps the team, because honestly, my players can carry the crap out of me. They're freaking amazing. Like Zion and Mash, they will just carry me for days. And Jinte too, he's stepping up. So I'm completely fine with that.
So I actually wanted to ask you a question about Jinte. Of course, you got, you know, Daydream just joined the roster. Jinte's been there for quite a while now. I want to ask you about Jinte and Shifter. You haven't been able to play with Shifter for a while. He was initially your starter. If you had him back now, would you switch your mid lane?
You know, as much as I want to say yes, I feel like we would be much weaker if we immediately switch back to Shifter, because it's a whole different play style. He plays all kinds of things, maybe possibly even more aggressive champions. Not the same pull as Jinte has, which is a little more laid back, a little more hard CC, typical mage style. Shifter, not so much. You know, he plays the assassins and whatnot. So I think going in right away, we would be completely lost and completely throwing games. We're all just going in and dying, and we don't know why. We'll realize, well, it's not what we're used to. So I think long term, Shifter would be better to have back, but at this point we've been rolling so long with Jinte, it's kind of hard to tell.
So then when you had Daydream in here now, or he had to have been a different style from Bloodwater, suddenly that worked.
When we initially picked up Bloodwater, it was like, yeah, all right, Mash has a confident support he's good with now. We can, because before that we were really 1v2ing all the lanes because Mashme didn't feel confident enough in a 2v2. So once we got Bloodwater, it was like, all right, let's go for the 2v2s now. But we were still kind of struggling, and honestly, I don't think Bloodwater was that comfortable on the team. Like, you know, he's a great guy. You know, we're happy for him, but you could honestly see he kind of longed to be on Vulcan with, you know, his old friends from CLG Black.
Okay, so even though your acquisition of Daydream was kind of last minute, it seems like it's been a really good acquisition. Why does he work so well with your team so far?
It's been a great acquisition, honestly. It's just everything about, like, just from the fact that he's an 18-year-old kid. Like, we're all 18 years old. You know, this is great. We all get along. We all understand each other. He plays aggressive, another perk to us. We love to play aggressive in a lot of situations. He makes stuff happen, which can often be a problem if we're struggling, we're not confident. You know, he will take the initiative to make that happen on his Thresh or whatever he plays.
Yeah, we definitely saw some huge plays by Thresh in all of the games you guys won. You were 3-0 with his Thresh already. And do you guys have any kind of big plans for preparation coming into Super Week? Because it's now like the final push before the playoffs. Are you doing anything special with your prep?
I think just sticking to what we've been doing will give us a lot of success. Just the way we've been strategizing for teams. We've been, you know, winning a lot of the games that we've been doing what we do for strategy. So I think if we just keep doing that same thing, we don't take too long a team, but enough to really understand what we have to do and how the game is going to go. And honestly, most of the games, I think, have gone as we predicted, except for maybe this Dignitas game. We didn't really expect the Fizz. That was kind of curveball, but whatever. We just played the team fights. But honestly, I think it's worked in our favor, and I think if we keep doing this, the only thing that's going to beat us is ourselves.
All right. Well, of course, good luck to the rest of the season. You've got 6 games left here in the regular season. We hope to see great things from you guys, and congratulations on your newfound success. And thank you very much for the interview. Guys, next up is Counter Logic Gaming versus MRN. If their battle on the Rift is even half as brutal as what they say about each other, we're going to be in for one hell of a fight.
Well, I've always felt like MRN was a little bit too overhyped.
CLG has actually been, I guess, underwhelming.
They do upset a lot of teams sometimes, but they tend to just consistently lose to lower tier teams.
It's pretty surprising, and I feel like it's kind of their play style that is bringing them down.
They just kind of do stuff on the fly and by feel, and that really throws us off because we are a very methodical team.
I don't know, I feel like their style is very outdated. There's really no room for anyone else except for Doublelift to shine.
We're just going to play their game instead of play our game. We're going to also play by feel and just beat them.
By feel and just beat them. Those are the words of Doublelift. Apparently they can just wing it like it's solo queue. Those are fighting words. And whether you think these teams are overhyped or underrated, they still couldn't be more evenly matched. CLG and MRN are 1-1 in head-to-head games. And the freaky thing about it is the score is 19-11 in both matches.
Right, like a lot of people look at this matchup and they think, oh, CLG clearly, but you look at the history and it's a lot different because during Super Week, Mega Zero went 5-0-11 as Renekton in Week 4. That was an incredibly strong play. Then the next time they played was at MLG in Week 5. Hotshot GG played jungle as Maokai. He went 1-2-17, but that week they didn't even have Chouster. And if we look at the playoff implications for this particular match, CLG is mainly playing for pride, whereas MRN is really fighting for their spots in the playoffs. So today's lineups also have never been played against each other, right?
Yeah.
Because when MRN picked up Niantonso, they still had
when they had
Heartbeat on
Niantonso,
AD carry, right? And the last time they played as well, Niantonso was in mid lane. It's been so different since the last time they met.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the first time around was pre-Niantonso. Second time around, no Chouster. Here's the time where both these teams have their full starting lineups for realsies this time. And, of course, speaking of lineups, let's break them down. On the blue side, it is Counter Logic Gaming. Hotshot GG is there in the top lane. Chouster is in the jungle. Link is in the mid lane. AD carry is Doublelift, and Aphromoo is on support.
And on the red side, it's MRN with Mega Zero in the top lane, Claky D in the jungle, Echo in mid lane, Niantonso on AD, and Heartbeat on support.
And this is going to be an interesting match because now you've got the point where MRN are fighting. You mentioned it before, fighting for the playoff spot. They're -1 win, +1 loss against GGU. They've got to get kind of up there. They're not really in control of their own destiny anymore. If GGU wins out, if Vulcan wins out, they're blocked. There's nothing that MRN can do about this. They need GGU or Vulcan to drop a couple of games so they can shoot back up through the rankings.
And I really want to see in this game if CLG decides to say what they said, do what they said in the video. Is CLG going to change away from their methodical style? Are they just going to be like, yo, guys, we're laid back and we're kind of just playing the game? I mean, when we were talking with Aphromoo yesterday and Link on the couch, he was saying why they perform so well in scrims is because it's just a different environment. They're kind of more laid back. If they go for something, they just kind of do it because they don't think too much is on the line. I think CLG gets in their own heads a little bit, and if they can play a more laid-back style, I think it'll be really good for them.
It's really interesting to me that that's even a problem for CLG because they're such an old team.
Some of them are.
I suppose you're right about that, right? But even Doublelift played back at the Season 1 championships on Epic, Hotshot, Chouster, right? They've been around forever, and it's weird to see a team that has these land nerves. The only person I can think of that, in my mind, who has that sort of problem would be Aphromoo, where when he was on Fear, they were one of the best teams online. They would win against TSM, CLG, and the like in online tournaments, no big deal, and they never showed up and did well on LAN.
Here's the way I think of it for CLG, right? Yes, there's the Aphromoo thing. He's always kind of had the LAN jitters. I feel like he's getting over those now, and he's becoming a really solid support. But you look at Doublelift is kind of the exception. He's always played AD carry, and people have liked what he's doing now. But Chouster hasn't been playing jungle for that long, pretty much just the start of the season, and they're also moving him much more towards you call everything. Everything's on you, Chouster, instead of just kind of sitting back and letting everything happen and then yelling at them when something goes wrong, right? They're trying to change that strategy. And then you factor in Link as well. He's new to competitive as far as Season 3 goes. So, yes, CLG has old players, but as a team in this particular formation, they are still new. And everyone reacts differently to LAN jitters, and CLG is just on the side where they need to get more comfortable.
And I do want to talk about Link a little bit more as well. He was on that old CLG Black squad, which was right now you recently disbanded Dignitas Academy. You just saw Curse Academy play earlier today. This was kind of the CLG Academy team, and you actually see a lot of them on Vulcan, for example, right? Nintendo mentioned that in his interview. And so Link has played some competitive games on a squad before, but CLG Black didn't have the best record. They had only 1 or 2 podium finishes in medium scale tournaments. So you're right? There's not that huge wealth of experience on Link's side.
And CLG will need to try to move past that. You look at MRN as well, and they've had a really topsy-turvy season. I know Nian Tanso's play has been quite impressive. His matchup against Doublelift will actually be really exciting because they both shoehorn into Vayne a lot. I wonder if they're going to leave it unbanned and be like, yeah, first pick Vayne, which is something we almost never see since there's usually only one big-time Vayne player on either team. The interesting thing about that, though, is the Nian Tanso Heartbeat combination is still quite new, and they're still trying to gel together.
I think if there's one 1v1 matchup I'd want to see, of the entire LCS, is Doublelift, Nian Tanso, Vayne.
Yeah.
If I could see that, I would be super happy. I want to, can you guys just send them mid and have them fight, and we'll just cast the rest of the game, but they can just battle for a while, and then that'll be who wins the game?
Maybe.
I feel like I want to see that.
I feel like something in the rules would prohibit that, but we'll have to check.
That's probably the wrong thing to do, but for what it's worth, I'd kind of want to see. It'd be a fun thing to watch, even if it weren't for actual standings. Fortunately, a bit of a quick error in the drafting, whatever, so we're going to get through on that one once again real quick. We do have the 10 players in the lobby. You saw the epic Champ Select music start, and we're going for it one more time in the Champion Select. So it looks like we actually are going to remake the lobby. Something went wrong with the bands.
Alrighty. So this game I'm still interested in for a number of reasons. Just give me a second to hop back into that new game so I don't get left in the dust.
Got to check those NASA's Q farm numbers, man.
Hey, man, that's actually really important stuff.
Yeah, it is my only job as
those big impacting plays. And I wonder if Hotshot, because Hotshot would be the one to farm up his Q on Nasus, right?
That's true.
He's really the only one who plays the top lane Nasus. He has a much different champion pool than the other top laners, especially even Mega Zero. Hotshot, some people say he should play Cho'Gath every game, because when he plays Cho'Gath, he just plays amazing on it. Other champions, sometimes he struggles. He had that crazy Udyr game top with Phoenix Dance where he was trying to farm 2 waves against TSM, but then Mega Zero is a really topsy-turvy player, if I've ever seen one. Sometimes he looks like the best top laner ever. It's wow, he completely carries Marn. Mega Zero's amazing. He's just diving turrets and doing all this crazy stuff. Then there's other games yeah, he is 0-7. And you just don't know which Mega Zero you're going to get.
And actually, kind of going back to the Hotshot GG point, I remember in their game against Dignitas, he was hitting Scar down to half health on Cho'Gath. He's like, Q, W, R, and now you're going to leave lane against me. No big deal.
Yeah, Hotshot had a beastly game yesterday on Cho'Gath against Zed. He rushed that Frozen Heart and really just made himself not attackable. And they ban it. They ban Hotshot's Cho'Gath and Nidalee. What year is this? It's 2011 again. Hotshot is a threat now.
And that's cool to see, right? I like watching player trajectories as well, where Hotshot was the best, and then it was CLG sucks, and now it's we got to first ban Hotshot. Oh my god! Even though it is Link on Nidalee, most likely it's still fun to see.
I'm lost. I don't know what's happening. So Renekton and Malphite are banned out as well, which is interesting because Hotshot's fallback is oftentimes Malphite. And since Cho'Gath is banned as well, and Nidalee's banned, and Shen is banned, that is so much Hotshot GG out the window. It's kind of Udyr, right? But Mega Zero is actually one of the only other people who's played top lane Udyr. He picked it into a Rumble, which was not wise, but we'll see if he can do it in this game.
He managed to 1v1 of Varus back when they played Complexity. That was a fun one. But CLG are going to take away Thresh right off the bat, though. CLG insta-locking Jarvan, and it's going to be Marn who gets Vayne.
I like that by Marn right there. Sure, they gave up Thresh for Aphromoo, and Aphromoo is a very scary Thresh, but Nian Tanso on Vayne and Clickety on Jarvan. If there is another Jarvan player, which is something we forgot about, it is Chouster, right? Yeah. So there's actually 2 champions that these teams pretty much completely share, that if they could get every game, they'd take. And Marn's got them both.
It's going to be fun to watch overall. And what I really like is that they're fully blind picking Vayne. They're Thresh, one of the best lane bullies. Yeah, okay, we're still going to play Vayne. Pick whatever you want. They know Doublelift will play Caitlyn most games, and he's like, yeah, bring it.
Well, most games.
Most games.
Not all games. They got the Rat coming in now. So it has been Doublelift's fallback oftentimes is the Twitch. This will be more of an AoE comp, I'd almost have to say, and that Nasus pick could very well be Hotshot, but there's no way of telling, right? Because Chouster is just pretty much always on Jarvan. So we haven't really learned what his fallback jungler is. Nasus is a very tactical jungle. It could fit into Chouster's tactical playstyle because even though he used to have amazing mechanics when he was this is his words as well,
Yeah.
when he was a solo lane player. He says his mechanics aren't there anymore, so the Nasus pick would be a very good thing for him in the jungle.
It reminds me a little bit of actually St. Vicious, the cursed jungler, where he says, like, yeah, I'm 26, like, I can't outsmite most people, like, my mechanics aren't very good, he's played for so long, he's got such great game sense, he's still one of the best junglers, arguably the best jungler in North America, and they've given Riven over to Mega Zero.
Yeah, and this is like a dare right now by MRN, because Riven beats up on Nasus if they are to lane together. Like, one of Nasus's biggest threats in a lane is just being able to wither someone, but because Riven hops around so much, it's like a pseudo-immunity to slows.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens with Hotshot Wither, if he is playing Nasus in the top lane, Mega Zero on Riven would just be able to go through it. So this is like daring Hotshot to play something else and put Chouster in the jungle. I really want to see how CLG responds with these final 2 picks.
They've got to look at a jungler or top laner, and almost definitely a mid laner here for themselves. We are seeing most of Martin's lineup, and I don't think any of those lanes are really close to ambiguous.
No.
Like, I've seen Jungle Riven and mid Jarvan, but I don't expect them, to be honest.
Yeah, and especially since Mega Zero played Riven yesterday, I'd almost expect a Lux out of Link because he's played it 4 of the last 5 games, and then I think it got like picked away from him or banned in the last one they played against Dignitas. But a Maokai would be very interesting. That's something I haven't seen Chouster play in a really long time. When he first started jungling, he played a lot of Maokai and ganked around, but there it is. Looks like CLG accepted the dare, and they're like, yeah, we're going to do Nasus against Riven. Let's see how it goes.
This will be a fun matchup overall. Heartbeat to pick up the last champion that will be the mid laner for Echo. He knows he's heads up against Lux. Could be an interesting matchup overall. So, Jat, what do we got going on here?
This is a real interesting one. I mean, Echo's played a bunch of Ahri in the past if they want to go like with a full big dive comp, but there's also things like Xerath and all that stuff. I'm not really sure what's going to go. He might want to either match the long-range poke from Ahri or try to get something that can jump past Ahri. So it's really a team-specific choice here. They already have some pretty strong dive if they combo Riven with Jarvan, so they don't have to worry too much about that. But getting on Twitch is a very difficult thing sometimes. I can't really pick this, and it will be an Ahri, so he's going to be trying to go past the Lux. That would make sense.
So it seems like they're focusing a fair bit on the Twitch, which I guess is trademark CLG, right? Talk about the AD carry the whole time?
Yep. One threat, right? Especially with Hotshot GG in the top lane on Nasus. He builds incredibly defensive Nasus builds. Maokai is a supportive jungle. Thresh is a support, obviously. And Lux, even so, is like a support mage mid. So it's another one of those everybody support the double lift, but this time he can hit 5 people at once instead of just one at a time.
Yeah.
When he pops his ultimate. So maybe it'll work for CLG this time. I can't wait for this game because I look at Martin's team comp as well, and it's very much about killing double lift. Claky D will want to jump on him. Mega Zero is great at getting to his target on Riven, and of course Heartbeat will be able to throw in those crescendos. So very exciting match about to happen for you.
All right, so you heard it there from Jat. It is protect the double lift versus kill the double lift.
Yep.
And we'll see which verb ends up winning out here. You guys feel free to vote on LOLesports.com who you think is going to win. I assume the tally right now is in CLG's favor, but we'll see if Champsite can turn anyone's minds a different way. Once again, Martin are a team that are just outside of the playoffs right now. They're down just a little bit more than a win right here. They've got to start racking up some in the W column to get themselves into good standing.
Martin is currently on a 3-game losing streak, so they're going to want to have to break this against CLG, and they do have, I feel like, a pretty comfortable composition. I mean, if I think all the way back to the LCS qualifiers when they were rolling through people there, it was with Jarvan, Riven, Ahri, pretty much every game. Then they did like the Urgot Taric thing, which has disappeared since then for some reason. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But this is awesome for Martin, actually. They should be very comfortable. And this isn't really anything like these guys were talking about in the pre-match. CLG was like, yeah, we're going to play just kind of whatever we want and just kind of freestyle it. And it turns out, no, we're going to play one threat, protect the double lift again. And then Martin just doing their freestyle thing. So it's exactly what we expected from both teams.
So is this CLG kind of playing practice games, though? Because they already know they're the protect the double lift team in the first place, and they're like, all right, let's run another comp, see how well this one works?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is CLG. This is who they are, right? It's a matter of they have stated that they are going to play these compositions until it gets driven into the ground, right? Like, they are willing to just execute, and they have confidence in themselves to be able to pull off the strategy and make it work. So it's just round 22 of the double lift strat.
Well, we'll see if Martin can make them Riven into the ground. They've got Mega Zero on there.
What does that even mean?
Well, I was making a joke on the fact that Riven sounds like driven, and that they're going to do it until they get driven into the ground.
Okay.
And so they're going to be Riven into the ground. Anyway, I've explained it twice
Just
now.
adding letters to things now.
I removed a letter, actually. Mega Zero is with his team in the bottom half of the map. They are in the red trunks, and suitably so, Jarvan and Vayne are wearing team colors, so that is nice for them. Pink is a close match from Echo. Mega Zero running his way down. Actually, no one is in tri-brush right now, so MRN will actually get into this one undetected. Jarvan flag comes down. Beautiful team colors there, and they're looping right through. Doublelift did spot them there.
And there's a bunch of pings coming down. If they really wanted to, they could try to 5-man type Doublelift, but he could potentially skill up stealth and be able to escape that one. So MRN is content just with the really double Golem Brush ward if they want to try to harass Doublelift off of doing that one. Maybe they're just trying to scare them off from doing double Golem so they don't get any kind of early lane advantage. But aside from that, CLG's making no aggressive plays whatsoever. CLG's not even trying to get deep ward control anywhere in MRN's jungle, so they're very passive.
Referee's going to cue that brush. They check that no one is there at the double golem. So they were very afraid, and they're like, oh, we didn't hit anyone. I think we're okay. I'd laugh if MRN hit over a wall and did it anyway. But it's CLG looking at the double golems right here. They'll get that pretty securely. On the other side of the map, you're seeing them start the blue buff for Maokai, and they're starting the blue buff over here for Claky D. So pretty default starts right here. The race actually being given to what is MRN's top lane, their duo lane, Neon Tanso and Heartbeat.
Yeah, and one of the big reasons that Maokai fell out of favor a little bit, aside from all the other Season 3 changes, is his early game jungle vulnerability. So many aggressive junglers have been in lately, and Maokai usually just can't keep up. But because there was a passive start, it looks like Chowster will have a good start. I will have to see, though, if Claky D gets any kind of aggressive on him and tries to shut out Chowster.
Hotshot put some pretty decent damage actually onto Heartbeat. He started Spirit Fire as well to keep himself into farm areas right here. Try to last hit with that. He's got 4 to himself right now. Claky D grabs his red buff, and he's looking already to go towards the left-hand side of the map. They might be level 3 tower dive in Mega Zero immediately.
Well, the good thing for MRN is they have multiple wards in the river, so they're going to be able to see that coming up if Mega Zero is to be dived, but it doesn't look like it's in the cards there.
I meant to say Hotshot, my bad.
It's not a problem, man. No one noticed.
No one.
Until you mentioned it. Now everyone noticed. But now Hotshot might get dove because Claky D's came up, and there's actually no wards here for Hotshot, but Claky D might be having second thoughts. They need to get this wave to the turret quickly if they want to dive on Hotshot, and Hotshot's doing a lot of clearing with that Spirit Fire.
Spirit Fire is holding them back a little bit. He's picked up 1 more minion kill with that. He's up to 5 right here. Neon Tanso missing that last hit, unfortunately. And waiting around for minions to go down. This one should reach the turret here, and Chowster showing up right on time. This will be a 3-on-2 under the turret.
Just carry it out. They just back out. Here comes Claky D. Chowster throws a sapling over the wall, but so many times we've actually seen a jungler try to defend it 2v3 and then just give up double buffs, and it looks like Chowster's not having it this time.
Instead, Hotshot GG actually is going to keep his turret. Actually pretty good standing, to be fair. Still at half health. Chowster's actually left right here, and they're not going in on a Hotshot, even though they have a full 3-on-1. They expect Chowster to be around. He's actually looking for Echo right now. The charm is landed, but there comes the light blinding. Who's going to do the most damage? Link gets another shield. Echo cannot quite find the pain, and Link finds a kill. First blood going to CLG.
I gotta say, those were mind games by CLG. Chowster made himself shown up top so that Hotshot played it like he had Chowster behind him the entire time, which made Echo get super aggressive because everyone was calling out like, oh, Maokai top, don't worry about it. Maokai was mid, and he made Echo pay.
That was a beautiful move right there. Hotshot showed that he is still top dog right now. Chowster running towards that blue buff, of course. He knows it's gone, but he is trying to get around behind Mega Zero, so they are level 3 diving Mega Zero.
Well, yeah.
Maybe.
But the turret goes down for MRN as Chowster is still deciding what he wants to do, but he still had to walk through those wards in the lane. He is a level 4 Maokai with double buffs, and Mega Zero does have an unconsumed red elixir, so it would be a fairly difficult dive. Chowster kind of taking it slow, still running through wards, and they might just be trying to brute force some turret damage, not take any huge risks.
Now that turret actually is very, very healthy right now. 1,993 health on it. They're going to move on. The sapling goes down to the tri-brush, and here comes the pain. They have a 3-on-2 available. Now, will MRN stop this? The health is down to half. Mega Zero goes in, lands a stun and double lift, jumps right back, but actually Claky D went in at the same time. Bit of miscommunication there. They've kept the turret alive for now, and they've recalled their duo lane.
Yeah, MRN cleared most of the wave without taking much damage, so I have to say that's a fairly big success here. They're going to want to hold this turret as long as possible, because if there's a way they can hold this until Sona and Vayne get down there, then they will be actually a turret up in the game.
Let's see if they can do that right now. Mega Zero has swept the lane out, and now Sona and Neon Tanso's Vayne are there. Chowster's waiting around, though, by this mid lane. He's actually bypassed the ward that was in the brush right there. Now he will get spotted. MRN knows he's nearby, and they're actually going to go for a 4 to 5 man grouping on this dragon. They've got a pink ward down, and they have... You go ahead.
What about that, Freak? You can finish your sentences, buddy, but they have the scout, and I was wondering if Hotshot's teleport was going to be able to go down in this one, but instead they get it. I wonder if Chowster's going to go in here. Hotshot teleport in from the side.
Ooh.
Here's the fight.
They pulled him into the entire enemy team right there. It's going to be a kill picked up there for Heartbeat. 1-1 is the scoreline here. MegaZero trying to run back. It's a Link now under a bit of fire. Pops the ult, does not quite find a kill. The Intanso is alive, flashing forward. They're going to try to look for some more damage. Mega's been exhausted, but is alive. Popped his red elixir as well. Hotshot GG still leading the charge, trying to go in under this battle. Lands the Wither onto Heartbeat. It could be flatlining pretty soon. And yes, the hook makes that happen. Double finds the kill. Now 2-1 in CLG's favor, and Intanso gets out.
So that was the 1-for-1 in CLG's favor because they'd already gotten the first blood mid, but Marn got the Dragon. I think it was pretty good for CLG. They wanted to force that because they knew Link was level 6 before Echo, so they'd be able to use the final spark and Marn wouldn't have that fight presence. But it turns out like a level 4 Nasus teleporting in isn't that big of a threat. Chowster went a little early, and they back out of it with a trade, 1-for-1, but the Dragon went for Marn, and it cost CLG their teleport, so I would say Marn came out on top there.
It looks like that was good for them overall, and you see 9.2 to 8.4 thousand. The gold lead definitely right now in Marn's favor, and this just seems like the week of underdogs putting on amazing performances right now. Echo chilling in his mid lane, despite going down, does have basically equal farm, so it's good to see that from the mid laners overall. Let's see what ends up happening now for this team. We're actually going to play heads up 2-on-2 at the bottom lane, and a 1-on-1 up top. This should be interesting.
So Doublelift would be in a bit of trouble, but they don't realize that Aphromoo isn't in the area. Farm-wise, Doublelift is winning out pretty hard here. This has been the difference between Marn taking the turret and Doublelift probably taking a bit more farm and not pushing as hard. Late game, that will favor Doublelift, but right now this favors Marn as a team because the global gold is what's coming in and giving the lead. Mid lane, though, MegaZero walked through, did not get caught by wards. CLG's forcing in the other direction, though, so I think Mega wasted a bunch of time.
They're running down towards the bottom. They did walk right by a ward. They're looking for a blue steal action. They've got a potential 4-on-5 as Jarvan is very, very nearby. There's no wards that spot CLG right now, though. Can they get this in time? They're actually going to wait. It's going to be Link last hitting. He does pick that up, and no one from Marn actually shows up to stop them.
Very nice. They realized Echo was probably back in base. They had the approach wards as well if Jarvan was to come over from the lane, so that was a very safe tactical steal. And Intanso looks a little scared in that lane against Twitch as well, so maybe Doublelift will be able to extend some kind of lead on him.
There you go. You see Hotshot, though, fighting up against MegaZero. Rather, it's MegaZero fighting Hotshot. Hotshot running away from that one. This dog is running with his tail between his legs as we see Echo farming in the mid. Intanso still with that red elixir, though it's timing out in the next 10 seconds. No hook will land. He's going to just keep farming minions underneath his turret as Link shoves up pretty hard in the mid lane. Of course, he's got a blue buff and Echo does not.
Good thing for Echo, though, is he does have a Chalice of Harmony and a Crystalline Flask, so he should be able to at least clear a bit of the waves, but he's not going to be that super roam Ahri that a lot of them have. Also, Chowster is in the bottom lane, undetected in these brushes, but there has already been some passive play coming out from Intanso. If he goes up into the next brush, he will be spotted by a ward.
They are ganking, though, a lane with a lantern, so how far can this Maokai move to find a kill here? The Sona is not yet level 6. We're seeing Maokai still winning around Hotshot, again, in a battle with MegaZero. He has blue buff this time, though, which is going to be much harder for him to do anything about this. His bottom lane about to push back down. Chowster is still waiting around at level 6. Doublelift has his ultimate as well. In a Heartbeat, he's very, very far from 6.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Hotshot used his ultimate to clear blue buff. He really just wanted to get it down fast. And there's the Maokai Lantern gank attempt, and it's just a tumble away. It was not much.
Yeah, nice attempt though by CLG overall, but good read by Marn to say, hey, we don't want to die for free. Of course they don't. Buys a lot of time actually as Chowster is waiting there for quite a while. Hotshot shows back up into this top lane. He is just continually going to farm up as much as he can. And we'll give you guys a quick Q update. It is rank 1 only, and it's at plus 30, so not very far yet.
Right, he was in a 1v2 for a large portion of this game. And I actually want to point out the bottom lane situation between Doublelift and Aphromoo, as MegaZero is just harassing Hotshot a little bit. But the way that Doublelift and Aphromoo are playing that bottom lane is very showing of their playstyle. They're trying to get Doublelift farmed up because they could have pushed the wave while Vayne and Sona were gone, but instead they decided to freeze it at their own turret and just let him farm more. It's 85 to 55. They don't care about the global turret gold right now because really, as a team, they care about Doublelift. And doing this strategy makes Doublelift 600 gold ahead of Intanso, so they don't care about the 750 gold from the turret.
And what we can see right here actually is that CLG are kind of creeping up in the gold lead. They're down only about 600 right now, despite being down a turret and down a dragon. So this gold is being bridged rather quickly. That you know, this is looking good again for Doublelift individually, and as an extension to that, CLG as a team, as Doublelift continues going in. MegaZero looking for another fight here against Hotshot. He does not seem to find enough damage. Hotshot constantly fighting him in that Spirit Fire, and it looks like he's doing extremely well in these trades every single time.
Yeah, and this is really just the two styles bashing against each other. Mega Zero, all-out aggression fight. He's got double Thorn's Blade. Hotshot, double cloth armor and a crystalline flask, right? So he is just sustaining through Mega Zero's harass for now, and he's actually winning in the farm war. So this is a well-played lane by Hotshot because Nasus versus Riven is not pleasant for the Nasus player, but with all the lifesteal Hotshot gets from his passive and all the healing he's getting from that crystalline flask, he's actually been able to out-harass Mega Zero and push him to his turret.
That's not looking too good for Mega, but Echo's looking for something here. He is level 8 and not spotted by a ward. Will they find something here? The Sona ult still not available. He's got about an 1/8 of a level to go. And then look at that, CLG backs right off as soon as the lane pushes out. Echo's not going to find the gank here, and it's now Marn's turn to freeze the lane.
I really like, though, that Nian Tanso stole the Vayne away from Doublelift, and then Doublelift just like, I'm going to crush you in farm. He is 46 farm ahead. Obviously, CLG as a team has done a really good job denying the wave and keeping the pressure in a situation where Doublelift is able to get that gold, but it is a big advantage for the primary threat from CLG.
Going to be very, very scary. You're seeing Hotshot now put some pressure onto the turret. It's actually going to be him that looks to maybe equalize some global objectives as he proxies his minion wave right here, level 8, this Nasus. Where's that Q farm? Yeah, plus 22 gold, gets some more right there. Minion's very, very low on health. Hotshot should get them pretty easily as well. We now see this mid lane matchup actually snowballing in CLG's favor, 111 to 81. That's a 30 minion kill difference. A quite good one for CLG.
Yeah, the couple of those lanes are winning by quite a bit, and some of it could be because Chouster's got 36 farm to Claky D's 60, but even though being down turrets and up 1 kill, right, the 400 gold disadvantage from CLG isn't showing through that much because they were the first team to the Unholy Grail and the first team maybe to the BF Sword Pickaxe, but that is an undetected Jarvan in that brush, and he could dunk Doublelift once he gets that flag cooldown back.
I'm going to check the timer on the E flag toss. 1 second to go. This is time for Claky D to go, and he does have the ultimate, but there are no pink cords available. Will they go? He's looking antsy. They find Doublelift, knock him into the air. The lantern comes across, and they burst him down. No, he barriers, but it will time out the ignite. It does get the kill. Nian Tanso finds that one. They're going to keep on going in. This is going to be a crazy battle. Hotshot shows up. Nian Tanso goes down to Link. Here comes Ari. They're still going for punishment on all sides. Claky D is getting shot right now. He's going to fall down. Hotshot gets that kill. All of CLG have collapsed and come to their teammates' aid. Mega Zero runs across the map, but it's still a 2-for-1 to CLG.
So CLG lost Doublelift, but they won the fight. Now they're going to try to push this turret down and maybe get something. The Dragon is up as well, but that doesn't seem like a priority for these guys. That was probably a successful counter gank by Chouster. Even though they had an undetected Jarvan in that brush, they sensed it, and they were able to come out on top.
Echo will be getting his own blue buff for the first time this time around. Bottom lane is Mega Zero cleaning it out as no one is in the top half of the map. Mega, for what it's worth, is now keeping up with Hotshot in minion kills. They're basically equal back and forth. I know you said it was an advantageous lane for Riven, so Hotshot keeping it equal apparently is still a good thing for CLG. Yeah. Doublelift grabs the lizard buff for himself, though, so he's finding other things to farm, even if it's not the lane.
Yeah, Doublelift, there will be no qualms about him taking Chouster's jungle because Chouster's definitely playing the support, but now it's the 5 members of MRN just rushing down here for the Dragon. It's going down fast. Chouster might want to steal. I don't think he can make it.
Now the red buff, or the Dragon does go down. That goes for the red team. Chouster's going to find the fight on a Mega Zero. Here comes the battle. Doublelift in the back of the line. Does not find anything from the final spark. Mega Zero just going in, trying to find stuns. The pull off. They get the kill on a Doublelift. Now it's Link under fire. Can Echo get the damage? The shields are so strong. The W finds the kill. Echo gets another one. 2-for-0. And Marn might not be done. They look for Chouster. He will be getting too far away, but this turret is now possibly theirs in a 5-on-1.
Yeah, that was a weird initiation by Chouster. He initiated by himself and then put his Maokai ultimate down in between the fights. If CLG wanted to initiate, he put it too far back, and if CLG wanted to peel backwards, he put it too far forward because Marn dove straight through the Maokai ultimate, dove the Doublelift, killed them immediately, and then CLG had nothing left for the rest of that fight. And CLG initiated after the Dragon. The objective they should have been fighting over in the first place had already been taken. So that just is a fight that CLG probably should have engaged on, and Marn capitalized.
A beautiful fight there by Marn. We've seen the kill score now equalized 4-4, and it's funny to see what these teams are doing because Marn now have 4 global objectives. 2 turrets have gone down, 2 Dragons have gone down, but when you look at the very bottom of your screen, you're seeing minion kills look good for the mid laner and the AD carry on CLG.
Yeah, and even though Doublelift's been overdove in a few of these fights, he's still trying to protect his farm. CLG's got to figure out a way to actually protect Doublelift, because in these fights, he's been getting dove hard. Even when they were there for a counter gank, with his barrier and flash up, he still got completely killed by 3 people. So this is going to become a worse and worse problem as we get into team fights, because Echo's only going to get more damage, right? Mega Zero's only going to be building more BF swords on Riven. So they have to figure out something, and maybe it's just overall pressure as they try to push more people up bottom.
CLG now have actually heck 5 people bottom. They're putting a lot of damage onto this turret, and it's going to be going down very, very quickly. MRN are still not here defending this one. Neon Tanto is actually the one pushing off on the sideline. Oh, the ult comes off. Look at the AoE.
Wow.
They find 4 kills in a row. Look at that. Completely crushing them down. They just lined up to dance, and it was beautiful.
That was unreal. Neon Tanto's happy about that. He's like, yeah, guys, I'll carry this game. Don't worry about it. You guys just do whatever you want over in that other lane. Perfect crescendo by Heartbeat. And when Heartbeat first started playing support, he was landing amazing crescendos, but the team wasn't following up on it. That was one hell of a follow-up as they just destroyed everyone, and they might be trying a 16.5-minute Baron.
Oh my gosh, they have complete control. The rest of CLG are running across, and I just completely missed the call in that battle because everyone died in fashion, and I could have said 2 words. And this Baron now down about half health. Link does have Final Spark, doesn't do near as much damage as Smite right now, but who knows, crazy things do of course happen. Going lower and lower in health, Link is in range. Will they find what they need? The E comes up, there it is! No, it does get smited away. Good pickup there by Clinky D, but they might get the counterattack kill. Here comes Chaucer. They're gonna look for Mega Zero. Mega Zero shields out. They actually find Chaucer, but Neon Tanto is ignited. He burns to death. Heartbeat's going to die as well. Do a double kill for Link.
So that's a 2-for-1, but the Baron went for Marn. So Marn's still actually really happy about that situation, because you look at the overall gold now, and it's 5,500 lead. CLG might get a turret off of this, but I think that was a really risky Baron call because Marn didn't get it down quite fast enough, but I don't think they regret it whatsoever.
I think it was worth it overall. They will pick up the turret after this, so this will be the second unanswered turret, say unanswered, but second turret kill in a row for CLG.
And now here we go, some big items being completed for Marn. The Bloodthirster on Mega Zero, the Bloodthirster on Neon Tanto. Marn rushing out forward, but there's the hook!
They find the Descent as well, but it does not quite spell Echo's doom just yet. After we've taken a bunch of punishment as Clinky D comes in to support that fight, will they keep moving forward? Lucid Singularity says, no, you won't actually. Clinky D's still running down. He doesn't have teammates nearby. He's still running forward. He's pulling a lot of cooldowns actually. Gets death sentenced as well. He's just happily taking everything.
He just realized that a bunch of people on his own team were behind him trying to push up on this one, so he's trying to delay CLG's backs as long as possible so Marn could go try to make something happen. I don't think he baited the right kind of fight. He had his ultimate up the entire time if he actually wanted to go and try to catch CLG, but they were hoping for something like a red steal. It just didn't happen to be up.
Okay, instead, though, they have run to the bottom half of the map. 4 people down there as just Riven by herself runs to the top. On top of like 3 or 4 wards basically next to each other right here. Mega Zero checks the blue, finds it, is up. Link is right around the wall though. We'll see if he can kill that with Wind Slash. There's the E from Link. He's going to try to burst it down. Oh, he didn't have enough damage. Nice pickup there. Riven, I mean, it's like the worst possible champion for blue buff almost, but he still gets it.
Man, Mega Zero's got the touch stealing those blue buffs. He had the awesome Wind Slash from behind the wall yesterday, and then he backed off just right, and Link wasn't able to spike it down properly. I mean, I believe Link had his final spark there. He just didn't want to waste it on, you know, a petty blue buff that would only give him 40% CDR and let him clear the waves. So really good play by Marn here. They're trying to siege down. You got to remember, there's still 3 people on Marn with the Baron buff if they decide to teamfight here.
The top 3 in the scoreboard, that's Mega Zero, Clinky D, and Echo, do have that right here, as it is slowly timing out. About a minute and 40 seconds left on that one. Heartbeat pulls away the sapling. I like that brush, by the way. Both teams have warded that brush because so many people hide there trying to flank people out. Neon Tanto, though, will grab that red steal, so all of CLG's buffs have actually been taken by Marn and are being worn presently. We'll see if that ends up meaning very much. That ward is a nice one as well from CLG, but the siege is starting here for Marn.
Not only do they got a couple red and blue buffs, they got 3 purple buffs left, as we've been talking about. So they might want to dive here. It's in wards, but it would be very aggressive. If they can land some kind of crescendo, they would be able to go in on it. But CLG is playing cautious. I think they're just waiting and hoping they catch some kind of charm on someone. Then they could go all in after that. Heartbeat does have a potential flash crescendo up, so they could try to duplicate the just wrecking they gave CLG in that last one, but they are playing this very carefully. They have about a minute of Baron left. There's the charm, though!
They might go in. They find a bit of damage. The shield that was good from Link. Remember that Doublelift now has an Infinity Edge, so he will be a big damage threat overall, and they're not looking to dive any turrets. Baron buff timing out more and more. Only about 35 seconds left on that one, so it is timing out rather quickly. Dragon is back up, and that's going to be Clinky D bringing that one down. There's multiple unanswered dragons here for Marn, so they are controlling global objectives very well as a team.
Another dragon, some more gold lead for Marn. That's a big play for them. I mean, CLG, Their backs are against the wall here. Doublelift is trying to farm up, but he's just got that Infinity Edge. The rest of the team doesn't have the big threat right now. Ideally, what they want to do is they want to kind of Lux ult and Maokai ult and let Hotshot sit in the team as Marn tries to fail dive Doublelift. But the fights just haven't been going that way.
Uh-oh.
If Mega Zero is close Doublelift when this stealth runs out, he's going to be going for him. And I think they're going to find him. That stealth's running out any second.
And he's on top of the ward, and there's the immediate dunk from Jarvan. Oh, nice. Aftermoon does save him. They've traded Flash for Cataclysm, which, generally speaking, is a good trade for Marn. And Doublelift says, great, I'm going to keep farming now.
He's trying to keep up. I mean, he's only level 10, right? This is definitely not the late game that Doublelift was hoping for. The turrets are gone. It's pretty much team fight siege phase, and this happened way before CLG was ready for it. When they're running a composition like this, they need Doublelift to get to 3, 4, 5, 6 items, and right now he's pretty much at 1, right? He's got the Infinity Edge, and that's all that really matters in his build, and CLG just needs more time.
Well, they are wave clearing the mid lane rather successfully over and over. Link, of course, one-shotting those with the ER combo. The cooldown, though, not as low as he'd like. Again, that blue buff did get stolen. Would have been nice for him. Mega Zero helping Echo with that duty himself. Well, Mega Zero gets all the gold for it, so Scumbag Mega taking the mid lane farm. Hotshot, though, running back to the top lane. No surprise here.
Yeah, he's a top laner, man. Come on. He's only got plus 84 on that siphoning strike, so this is not the Omega Nasus that we're gonna see near the end of these games. And he needs to find a way to either farm or stall at the game. It's just that Marn is putting on so much pressure in the other lanes. For instance, with this 3-man push down the middle right now, any second that Hotshot's off in another lane is a bit of a danger for the rest of his team.
Well, we have a minute and a half until Baron. We'll see if that ends up being contested. It's funny, though. Baron's respawning at about 24 minutes. Normally doesn't even go down the first time by 24 minutes.
Yeah.
So certainly this game is different than normal. Guys, for those of you just into our second LCS match of the day, where Marn are actually winning against Counterlogic Gaming, and what could be quite a big upset if they can close this one out. We see a 9-6 kill score in Marn's favor, 3-2 turrets in their favor, unanswered Barons and Dragons in their favor, and an 8,000 gold lead. But Hotshot's going to find Clanky D. There's the Wither. Here comes a fight. This is going to be not great for Marn. Clanky's trying to run away, still slowed. Light Binding Lance are going to explode him right here, down to half health, and they still keep going. The Cataclysm, the Sona comes off as well. Double takes a bunch of pain, but they're still not quite finding the damage they need. Aftermoon's taking pain, but there's still no kills just yet happening. Doublelift still not going down. Oh my gosh, the Wind Slash finds 2. Mega Zero still in the fray. He finds a 3rd kill. Can they keep on going? Chowster's getting punished right now, taking a bunch of damage from Echo. He's still chasing, still chasing, still chasing. The charm lands. The tree might just go down in the forest. He's still, yes, he finally does. Echo heard it, and they're moving on forward, Team Marn.
You could tell CLG saw that as their window. They went for Clanky D at the start of that fight. They got him, and then it looked like a really sloppy engage for Marn, but the Wind Slash ult on an invisible Twitch finished off Doublelift and gave Mega Zero that awesome double kill. Yet another play for him. He's now 7-0-4 on Riven. He's just a hero in this game. And man, 23 minutes in, Marn in full control.
Mega hero indeed, and the blue buff is going to be theirs once more. I wonder if it goes to Neon Tonsil or not. Let Mega grab it. I don't know if that was a steal or not, but Riven does scale off CDR quite nicely, so I can't exactly hate right here.
Yeah, there's technically a 3.6 second cooldown on a 370 damage self-shield right now when he has that blue buff, so it's not that bad, despite being manaless, to have that blue buff on Riven.
Dude, that's how low that shield is? Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah.
It lasts 2.5, the cooldown's 3.6. That'll be fun. Hotshot here in the top lane, though. He's going to start farming out that Q. Of course, it's not even strong enough to break that shield right now, so we'll see how that ends up panning out. And Mega Zero, Bloodthirster into Black Cleaver, so he's armor shredding the enemy team for his teammates as well. Neon Tonsil is just farming up quite a bit. 1, 2, and 5. Actually, I guess he's really not the star of the show this time, though. It really is Mega Zero this time around. But this Shrelius has been grabbed by Heartbeat, so they're just adding more utility to this team.
I mean, it's great that they picked Vayne away from CLG and the Jarvan away from CLG, but like the big plays in the match have been made, I gotta say, by Heartbeat's crescendos and just the rest of the team following up on it. The big swing team fight that happened in this game was when Marn was 4v5 at their own turret and they killed everyone without Neon Tonsil even being there. He was off split pushing the other lane, so everyone's pitching in for Marn because there's been the games where Neon Tonsil carries, and this is one of the games so far where the rest of his team has really picked it up.
It's always good to see a team with a bunch of depth. It's happened right here with Marn. 2 of them chilling in the mid lane. Clanky D and Neon Tonsil sharing a bit of farm. Okay, just kidding. It's Neon Tonsil taking all of it. Pink ward comes down from Clanky D. Sees that there's no vision around there for Counterlogic Gaming. Hotshot will continue farming up in the top lane. Par for the course for him, 140 minions, and a bit of clear reduction and a bit of resistances.
And it was smart there that Claky D was giving the farm away to Niantanso, because you look at his items, he's got the Runic Bulwark and the Locket of the Ion Solari, and as Jarvan, he's like, I'm done. Everyone else take your farm. I got the items I was going for. Now Marn's going for this because they saw Doublelift in the bottom lane. The Baron's already low. The only chance for CLG is to steal this, but I don't even think they know what's happening.
They've just now gotten into vision as well. The laser's not going to be in time. Claky D finds that one, and they get the stuns on the Hotshot GG. Can they get the charm? He's going to flash away from that one. There's the dunk as well. Hotshot, his flash is on cooldown, of course, and they're going to find this kill quite possibly. They're doing damage, and there's the kill picked up, but Doublelift is still at the bottom lane. You're seeing actually a couple members of Marn are recalling to defend this, but he might get the turret for free. Okay, Mega Zero's back in his base.
Home guards.
He does have home guard boots, and he's running on in. Doublelift sees that and runs the heck away from the turbo rocket boots. Mega Zero, he puts the slow down. Can he win this duel? Gets knocked up into the air, still trying to run. Mega pops his ulti, and it's going to be the stealth in from Doublelift. Oh, he jukes it. Will Mega get? He actually goes in back for the fight. I don't know if it's going to be enough for Doublelift though. Pops barrier, gets one-shotted there. The wind slash. No, it's not going to be enough. Doublelift gets the duel, gets the victory. Nice pickup there.
Doublelift hashtag Twitch mechanics, because he can't play Vayne. That was awesome the way he juked out Mega Zero in that fight, burning everything. Obviously, it wasn't worth it as a team because there's Baron on 4 people in Marn, but at least Doublelift made a great play. He almost got the turret. He killed Mega Zero. I still like Marn's chances though.
No, when your team CLG, 500 gold for Doublelift might just be the best team gold you could get. With Marn, of course, on Dragon, number, I think, 4 at this point. Happy to take these over and over. Claky D leading the charge as usual. And that will be now like 4,000 gold from Dragons just over and over again for Marn.
Yeah, Dragon number 32 for Marn. CLG hasn't really been able to get anything around there. That's 2 Barons that Marn has picked up as well. They're still up a turret. They had those slight concerns of letting Doublelift get a little bit out of control because, you know, clearly Mega Zero did have a bit of an issue getting to him in that fight despite having the home guard boot rush, his really low cooldown on his, even though his blue buff had actually worn out at that point on the chase of Doublelift. But Marn's diving and their team fighting has been so superior to CLG this entire game. When you add the 11,000 gold, right, like CLG should scale up if they could make this like a 50-minute game, but I don't see Marn waiting that long.
I don't really see that either. They have been playing pretty aggressively this whole time through, and when they keep grabbing Barons like this, it certainly keeps growing that gold lead. You now see 11,000 gold in Marn's favor, 28 minutes in. They're winning in kills, they're winning in every way that I can think of to measure this game, except for the number of Twitches on your team, because that definitely goes to CLG. And that's going to be a scary Doublelift as the game goes on, but as you mentioned, Marn's probably not going to let that happen for too much longer. CLG group towards the bottom of the map, as Marn is doing the same thing. They'll be squaring off soon.
Well, like you said, at least they have Twitch, so they can take victory in that.
Yes.
But now this turret's getting sieged down. They have the upper wards in the jungle, so they'd be able to see a dive from the back if Marn tries to loop around them. And the last time Marn was in the siege scenario, they didn't really make anything happen either. They ended up backing off and taking a dragon. I wonder if times have changed because CLG is scared off, and they just give it up this time.
They completely let the kill go down. Instead, they will go back to their inhibitor turret. Of course, Baron buff still around for the next about minute and 5 seconds. So they've got basically 2 waves here to shove this one. We'll see if they can do much with it. There is only one sort of secondary turret left for Marn to take, and that is in the top lane, and they're not even looking at that right now. They're instead staying on the bottom half. The charm does land to get some damage on a Hotshot GG. Q comes back from Soda as well, and a sapling is going to get eaten by Heartbeat. Marn
might want to go on this wave if they're trying to make a big play. Look at how aggressively they're going inside.
Yeah, they pop the ult on Riven as well. Where are they going to go for the fight right here? The turret goes down. CLG not even trying the battle. Look at them back right back off. And they're not going to find a fight at all. Oh, the Zonius from Echo keeps them from taking any damage. And there's the initiation. They look for Hotshot. They find Hotshot for free. That's 1 kill going to Niantanso. And they turn back to the inhibitor. And they are running backwards. They've got a 5-on-4, and CLG will not chase that.
CLG just gives it up. They backed off from the first turret. They backed off from the base turret. And they just were not willing to fight. You can tell Marn's trying to kind of like bait out a fight with the last few seconds of this Baron, but they got a free inhibitor. Another face tanking this other turret in the 4v5. I wonder if CLG will fight here.
Well, they might possibly. Light Binding comes up, does not quite hit Echo. That could have been an explosive kill, but 5v4, they are afraid of the turret making it a 5v5, so Marn will run from this one. CLG challenges nicely. The blue buff and the red buff are both up, though. Marn can take them.
Even though Doublelift has hit his last Whisper and Infinity Edge, it was still not time for CLG to fight. Maybe it was because of the Baron, but it is a very risky move to just give up an inhibitor the way that CLG did there. Now, even the next time the Baron's up, they're going to have that inhibitor still yet to respawn, and they're going to have that threat in their back door the entire duration of this game now. they're really banking on a MRN mistake at this point. They were hoping that MRN would super overcommit, and because MRN went in together, CLG seemed to just be scared off.
And indeed, they are a little bit scared off. Echo's going to grab the blue buff for himself, and that's a bit of a risky proposition as MRN are split up, and CLG 5 strong are charging up the middle of this map right now, and they should have enough control to take that. You see CLG run across. At this point, though, no one is around to defend, so this is going to be a turret for Counter Logic Gaming. Despite losing a member, losing part of their base, they're like, yes, we can take more of the map away from you. And MRN's red is up. This could also be stolen by CLG.
CLG caught MRN in some bad back rotations. They kind of split off a little bit into side lanes. Echo wasn't there to defend. I think it was Heartbeat as well, so it was really just a 5v3 that CLG took some free objectives off of. There still will be that super minion wave pushing the bottom lane for CLG, and they're going to be restricted to their base because of that, but that was pretty good counterplay by CLG there.
Okay, so we're seeing them now with 4 to 6 on turrets, 8 to 15 on kills. MRN looking pretty good, looking for what could be a game-ending push if the fight goes well for them. Underdogs right now sitting at 7th place in the LCS versus the number 4 team are looking good so far. They've got about 20 seconds till the next minion wave shows up. They're going to need that one to help take the turret down. That said, it is a 5-on-5. Baron and Dragon coming up pretty soon.
All poking around this turret, kind of looking for a fight. Even though the Baron buff has expired on all of them, they're probably just going to go take this free turret as well, because the only way it seems like they throw this game at this point is a bad tower dive into CLG's base. Like, if Doublelift could position properly in one of these fights, he could wreck them as long as Link gets a good final spark off as well. So CLG's kind of waiting for that perfect play and hoping MRN walks into it.
They get some damage up there. The Wither goes off onto Vayne. Hotshot gets charmed. The Death Sentence lands on the Echo. This could be brutal for MRN. Actually has to Zhonya's the light binding, but that's the Zhonya's out. So next time around, you'll see him take some damage. And with 35 seconds till Baron, MRN back off.
So they're actually all going back to base. They have pretty big gold stacks across the board. They're going to try to power up right before this next fight. That 1,800 gold on Mega Zero, 2,000 gold on Mega Zero, because he sold the Doran's Blade. And he picks up a Locket of the Ion Solari, so trying to get some Twitch immunity coming through on this one instead of getting more damage. Most Rivens you see almost never build a defensive item unless it's like straight up resistances, because the AD ratio on the shield is so great. Sometimes the best defense is more offense, but Mega Zero deciding against it here with Locket.
Ian's also going to grab the red buff for himself. Fortunately, time for Team Marn will have that right before the impending Baron fight that has spawned here. And Marn have a bit of control. However, I'm trying to look, is there an Oracle's on Heartbeat? There is. He has just popped that. It's up to him to ward sweep, because Marn are visible right now, standing on some CLG wards.
Heartbeat's got to get in the right brushes to clear these off, but every time he does, he's risking getting caught by a death sentence and maybe a CLG initiation, because any skill shot from Link would probably just kill Heartbeat at this point. And they just missed that one.
The damage is there. I guess it takes a bit of punishment. Look at that. The shield blocks some, but they finally get through it and deal good damage back. However, Marn has Sona sustaining his health back up. Claky D actually looping around the bottom-hand side, but they spot him with a ward. CLG puts another ward in their blue buff brush as they retreat as well. CLG with a decent amount of vision. Of course, Maokai has some as well. So does Thresh. They can throw out their abilities and see into the darkness. More wards are going down, though. Marn are trying to blind CLG here.
And if CLG didn't fight to defend their own inhibitor, I don't know how they're going to fight to defend the Baron. They really need this fight to go well if they want to win this. Marn has a big advantage here. I think CLG's just hoping that Marn starts on the Baron and that CLG can get a steal, because it does not look like CLG actually wants to fight that well in the jungle. We'll see how Marn handles it.
The middle and bottom lanes are both pushing. We actually have minions pushing down the middle turret. That's actually going to die to minions, I believe, down in the middle lane. So that is going to be a dead inhibitor just by Marn buying time. And look at CLG back off as their Nexus turrets are taking damage as well. And now Marn's going to go in, but there's so many people from CLG back in their base. I don't know if they can turn around in time. It's down to half health already. Marn's going to find this one for free, and only Link can stop them. But it's going to be... Yeah, they actually stop hitting it to make sure he will not steal. Then it's an easy pickup for Claky D, and the team's going to be back on the move.
Would have been quite a hero steal if Link could have taken that one out, because he was so far away that he only tried with his final spark, and Marn played that one very smartly. So here it comes. There's 2 exposed inhibitors for CLG. Marn's going to try to clean these ones out. I really want to see if CLG tries to stop them getting these ones at least, or if they just let it happen and try to hold it a third. There's a hook.
The land destined onto Claky D, but he is the tankiest member on that team. Not the best choice overall. Hauster taking a bunch of damage. There comes the crescendo. Look at the damage coming across. They find one. Can they find more? Echoes in the fray. Pops Zhonya's on himself. Doublelift is being focused. Knocked into the air by Claky D. Do they have the damage? Mega Zero's looking for it. Knocks him up. Yes, they get the kill. Now it's Aframa. He falls as well. 3 dead from CLG. And Marn are going to push into the base right here. Hotshot trying to defend it alive, but I don't know if he can quite do this. The turrets are going down. Marn take one. They're going to look for the second one as well, and this is almost certainly Marn taking a victory here. It's now on to the Nexus. This will be Marn taking the win over Counter Logic Gaming.
18 kills to 8, the 35-minute victory. Marn is pumped after that one. That's their second victory of the year over CLG, and the topsy-turvy season continues for both of these guys. CLG, after a win streak, is back, and after a 3-game losing streak, Marn beats CLG.
What an impressive showing overall. Honestly, every fight focusing on to Doublelift. He went 3-5-3 that game. They just wanted to remove him from the battles. Link, though, you see him on your screen right here. He went 4-1-3. He had a good performance, honestly, himself, but that alone was not enough.
CLG is not happy with that performance. After giving the fist bumps like he usually does, I'm waiting for someone to come up and just like try to shake his fist instead if they're not wanting to give the fist bump, but haven't seen it yet. And, you know, CLG is disappointed with that one. Marn is extremely happy with that one. I have to say, everyone on Marn actually played that game really, really well. Because even though Mega Zero came out with all the kills with the final win slashes, those guys were quite low at the end of it. Like, the crescendos from Heartbeat were so solid.
And it's really interesting to see as well because you had the Riven was the 1v2, was starved out, had a rough lane, and was the one to actually carry that game through. So that's an impressive performance as well. However, we do have a replay we want to show you guys of one of those battles.
Yeah, this is one of the 4-for-1 fights in the mid lane. This was the one where CLG thought they had an edge, right? They go all in on Claky D, and they think that if they get him, the 4v5 will happen. Keep in mind, Neon Tonso and Heartbeat are at the bottom of this fight, and they actually have to come in from the back. Heartbeat lands a crescendo just to kind of stall them. Neon Tonso goes crazy in. He actually has to flash out of this, but this is giving time for Echo and Mega Zero to come in after we put up the box, but it doesn't matter, dude. Watch this wind slash. Cleans them up at the end of it. It was the max range wind slash that finished them off. CLG thought they were getting away from it, and this was really the moment where you realized, okay, CLG's probably done in this one. There's no way they can fight Marn, because if they lose 4v5s like that, they can't win the game.
Just actually healing with the auto attack there to try to get out. I like the mechanics there. You saw that. The passive on Maokai, right? Healing even you auto attack was like, oh, I'm so dead. Auto Q. And it actually almost saved him. If like the Q otherwise hadn't landed there. I always like those good moves. People who like remember to use the Maokai passive, it always excites me.
I mean, yeah, like the CLG guys have amazing individual mechanics. There was the double lift moment when Mega Zero was chasing him down in the top lane where it was just like unreal amazing play.
Yeah.
But in the midst of all the defeat that CLG was happening, it didn't matter. Yeah. Maokai sapling hit a creep. But you know what? You still died and lost the team fight, right? So these guys have potential, and still CLG can't put it together.
Yeah, I mean, really just impressive play from Marn overall. And after the break, we're going to speak to Neon Tonso and Mega Zero from that team. And then it is time for our third LCS match of the day. Big Game University trying to take complexity to school. Stick around.